Welcome to another episode of Candid Convos. Today's guest is Victoria Collier. Victoria is the head and founder of Victory Walk Coaching, creator of the estate and asset protection law firm, and a top-selling author, a business owner and expert on veterans benefits. It's an absolute honor having her as a guest today. So please, wherever you are, give it up for Victoria, and thank you for being with us today, Victoria.
Well, thank you for having me. It's actually an honor to be here, and I'm delighted to be asked.
Victoria, when I started researching your work, I was amazed at the reviews that your clients made about your services. I also noticed that you are an entrepreneur in many different businesses.
Yeah.
Where do you get the drive you have to do so many things? Like, don't you ever get tired?
Actually, I don't get tired, but the people around me say that they get exhausted by watching me. So, I have big goals. I have laser focus, and I have a lot of things going on at a time. So I have to stay organized, and that alone gives me a challenge, and I am energized with challenges. Unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes I create challenges just because they energize me so much.
Okay, well, it's nice to meet somebody that has that drive and that impulse, but at the same time knows the difference between setting after something that you can go for and then overreaching your own grasp. So it's nice to see that balance. Now, one thing that I do notice is that most people are in it for the money, right? Whatever it is that they're doing, they want to see a profitable business, which is okay. But with you, the money struck me more as of a result of a successful practice. The thing that stood out for me was protection. If I'm correct in this, why is protecting people one of your main concerns?
When I reflect back at all of my life, what I noticed the theme is that I had people around me that did not have quality of life. I had a mother that had undiagnosed bipolar, and she ultimately took her own life. I had a father that was an alcoholic, a very high functioning alcoholic. One of the most memorable first occupations I had was as a caregiver in a nursing home, taking care of people who needed 24/7 care. So it's really my personal mission. My purpose of being here is to be able to help people have a higher quality of life, whatever that means to them. And so that's been the thread through all of my businesses, my law firm, helping people have a higher quality of life through asset protection. Same with my financial services firm. And now I coach lawyers on how to, build and sell their businesses, health and wellness CBD products to help people with physical health and wellness so that they have a higher quality of life. That's what it's about for me. Certainly, we all want to be profitable. And I think that if you can provide good service and you stick to your core mission, your personal purpose of being here, then the profit's going to come.
Wow. Well, that kind of also answers a part of the first question, the question that you already answered, like, where do you get the drive? That's a very powerful personal statement. And it's nice to see that you follow through pretty much on all the business aspects that you could do that. So it's awesome to hear that. Now, another thing here is that one of the big subjects out there when it comes to owning a business is leadership and what it takes to lead and win. Where I'm standing, and not only because of what I researched, but also because of what you just said, you've done that several times. So what's your position with having a team that's ready for the fight? And what has been your experience with your virtual marketing assistant, Daniela, as part of that team?
I always say, I never saw myself as a leader, although I was certainly learning leadership traits in the military. That came much later, but I would say that the first thing is, you've got to create people who believe in your vision and your mission. And then it becomes easy to be a leader because people want to follow the vision and the mission. And then I am a big believer in that you don't manage people, you manage processes. And with Daniela, she has just been a joy to work with, because she is a leader herself, and she conducts herself very professionally, and is not emotionally immature. Many people need cheerleading. Yeah, you did a good job. Many people crumble if you give constructive criticism. And Daniela has just been rock solid with her production, her performance, her creativity, and the constructive criticism. I couldn't be happier.
Well, I imagine that you set the bar pretty high when it comes to standards, because the results that you are able to give to your customers and the different branches that you are, they have to be on point. So I imagine that she's meeting that, and anybody that works with you and your team has to meet that requirement. Well,
I think setting out expectations and having consistent communication is key. In the beginning, when I hired Daniela through Get Staffed Up, I was not consistent with my communication because of so much going on. And, I could tell she needed that. She wanted that. We all, from a business standpoint, need that. And so once I got to a place where I could provide that, we do weekly meetings. There are no expectations left unsaid from anybody's standpoint. But it's more than just business. It's personal too. We go over personal wins. We go over professional wins. We go over our gratitude. You can't be a leader of business only. You have to be a leader of personal matters.
Well, it actually sounds like a privilege to be working there with you. Sounds like a very cozy relationship, even if it is offshore. Now, here's a different topic. I know that you own a coaching company, and as a coach, return of investment is something all clients wish to see. So from that point of view, and this is also a tricky question because it could be a double-edged sword. Do you believe you're getting your money's worth with your virtual assistant?
More than my money's worth, although don't increase my fees. But yeah. So, I'm a big believer in invest in people and hire people sooner than you think you need them, because we all take on too much. And if we wait until we're at the end of our capacity, then we're beyond capacity, because then when we do hire someone, we don't have the capacity to actually train them and onboard them properly. So we need to do it before we're at the end of our capacity, do it sooner than what we think we can or need to. And you will get your ROI as long as you train properly, you manage properly, you lead properly, and you set out the expectations and have key performance indicators.
So that you've said it already a couple of times. You set out the right expectations, and all of this is pretty much bringing me to the same place, like a team. Like, how much of a team is it, or how well integrated is she on your team? Which brings me to the next question: how has she integrated to your team? Like, can you give us an example?
So, huge example. So first of all, yes, I don't feel like, a person needs to be in your office to be integrated into the team. I think it comes down to how you include everyone, and the conversations you have. And that's why we have the weekly team meetings where everybody is on there, and we all contribute our reports. What is our key, what's the key goal we have for the week? What do we need from other people on the team to move forward with our own goals? What were our wins? We definitely focus on wins, and we all want to hear everybody else's wins and what we're grateful for. But how she's been doing that from the beginning. And she's very respectful when she needs to take time off. She doesn't just let you as the agency know. She lets me know and asks me if it's okay. Just like she would any other supervisor. But most recently, I had another assistant that has gone out in the hospital 3 or 4 weeks ago, and there was some overlap in skill, and they certainly were working together, but it wasn't a carbon copy. And Daniela has been able to jump in overnight and take over the responsibility of this other assistant because it was still in Daniela's wheelhouse, right? And so she's integrated beautifully and jumped in when needed to when we lost another assistant.
Wow, it's a great thing to hear that she's able to cover and move other teammates in your whole practice. So I imagine that the fact that she's working virtually doesn't make things that different, does it? Or is there work-wise any difference for you between the talent that's in-house to the talent that's remote?
Well, I built my coaching business different than I had my law firm, and my coaching business is 100% virtual. So all of my assistants have been and are virtual. So this is new to me from a business standpoint, but it's not new to this business. And so I would say that I am enjoying the virtual aspect of it and really broadening my own growth as a business owner, that I don't have to have people right here with me, that we can still be just as cohesive and meet the mission no matter where we are.
Well, I honestly didn't expect that answer. I do think that working virtually and doing everything remote is part of the way of the future, but honestly, I thought that many people were having trouble doing that transition from being a physical type of business to a virtual type of business, and then just knowing that the virtual type of business is something more open, and it's something that, well, you have to learn wherever you are, whoever you are, you got to do that. But to know that it's not only not a limitation but a bonus, that's a very refreshing surprise, at least for me.
Yeah, well, I think that certainly the pandemic has been helpful to force people to make a transition, first of all. And, candidly, since this is a candid conversation, I think a lot of fears from United States business owners is that when you go virtual, are there, companies in the United States that have US citizens to speak the language, is a barrier that is an ignorant barrier. And I say ignorant, not in a bad way, but ignorant because they don't know and they're too afraid to try. And I was one of those for a very long time. What I love about where Daniela is that she's only in a time zone 1 hour from my time zone. So that makes me feel more comfortable. I do know of other businesses that have people in time zones with a much broader, spread. And I don't know how I would do with that. So I think it's all part of the growth process as we all start to work from home more and start to realize that businesses can be operated from anywhere.
Well, you heard it, guys. I'd like to say it. That's the way of the future, and it's already here, whether we're ready or not.
I can't go back.
No, and would you like to? Well, guys, that's actually all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank you, Victoria. Thank you for your time and for your kind words. But before we go anywhere, please let people know what you can do for them and where they can find you.
So I'm Victoria Collier, and I own Victory Walk Coaching. I help people build their businesses to sell, and I also can help them sell. And so we position and create assets within the business so other people will want to buy them. You can find me at victorywalkcoaching.com.
Well, guys, you heard it from her. Please reach her if you need her. We'll see you guys next time on the next episode of Candid Convos. Thank you very much, Victoria, and catch you next time.
Thank you so much.